Controller what?
Impulses.
Impulses.
Okay, they can see and hear you if they find that link.
Impulses. Relations.
Oh my god, someone help me. So if you can find this stream, send help.
All right.
Oh, there it is. We're on.
Yeah, I know.
That's bizarre.
But it created a new...
Did it ignore the...
Yeah, it didn't send it to this one.
That's bizarre.
Oh, Mark Smith found us.
Okay. Hey, Mark Smith, happy Wednesday.
All right, well...
Woo! We got Mark Smith.
We had a really weird thing there, guys. Where we're assuming we're live right now, Ginger?
Yeah, they can see and hear you.
Okay.
Mark Andrews found us.
Tell Kenny where we are.
That took, holy fuck, that took 15 minutes.
We'll just go 15 minutes over.
Yeah, so, yeah, that was not our fault. There was a software update change with Switcher, and somehow it doesn't like us.
There was a hammer in the works somewhere.
So I'm thinking that we're good now, are we, Ginger?
Yeah. Yeah, created a link. Everyone's finding it.
Maybe we were live all the time on this.
No, we were not. No.
We weren't? Okay.
No.
Anyhow, welcome to String Theory. Sorry we're a bit late. Technical difficulties.
It's still Wednesday night.
Ginger saved our buttocks.
Yeah, I think I smell the keyboard burn.
Yeah. And her ass, because she wants to kill both of us. For sitting
Yes,
over
they
here.
were being incredibly annoying.
Yeah, we're sitting over here cutting up the whole time.
I think
Making horrible noises.
Is a little rough.
Yeah. It's jammy night. I'm in my jammies.
My jammy top.
Yeah. I've been on the road for 400 years. Finally get home.
You've gone twice around the sun.
Yes. I'm wearing jammies.
You spilled your dinner on you.
No.
No? What is that?
I don't know what that is.
Maybe it's some electric orange sipping cream.
It could be.
Just spill a little more on there.
I think I will.
All right.
So people are slowly trickling over. We got 13.
All right. So hopefully they'll find us.
Lucky 13.
Let's talk about our sponsors.
All right.
Boucher Guitars.
Yeah, buddy.
Of course. Levy's, leather straps and accoutrements for a guitar.
We've got G&G Music, Glen Gotel in the Highland heart of Nova Scotia, Antigonish. And Zigata House.
Mississauga, Ontario.
Yep.
Our buddy Stan Zakemski.
Yep.
Brickhouse Guitars, Roger Schmidt. The Acoustic Shop in Springfield, Missouri. My buddies at Chapman's.
Parkway Music.
Albany, New York.
K&K, makers of fine pickups.
Everywhere. Gallagher.
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 Yeah.
Guitars. Alvarez, Yeri, St. Louis Music. Love you, Steve. Chris Meikle.
Yamaha Music. Yeah. And Close Guitars.
Close Guitars. Cody Guitars right here in town. D'Addario Strings, D'Addario Canada.
Apollo Picks. Epiphone / Gibson.
Blue Chip Picks. Tone Slab!
A little over the top for Tone Slab.
I love Tone Slab.
LR Bags, who make
Yes.
everything.
Everything.
Yeah, everything
They
else.
do. They do.
Everything else.
Yes.
Yeah. Hosen Guitars.
Yep. My Hosen signature model comes out in about a month and a half, which will be one of the prizes for the giveaway this year. George Crackett
Yeah, buddy.
just gave Dave Gunning his signature model a couple of days ago. I picked up a new one. It's going to be reviewed. We're going to review Dave's. It's going to be killer.
Dave loves his guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Emerald Guitars over in Ireland, building the best carbon fiber instruments on the whole planet. Yep.
Woof Woof Meow Meow, Nova Scotia SPCA.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Charmed Life Picks.
Picker's Grip, and a new partner of ours down in Nacogdoches, Texas, Kennard Guitars. Stephen Kennard, one of the best builders in the North American continent.
Yep. Edwinson Guitars.
Birmingham, Alabama. Yep.
Cienmo Guitars.
Cienmo.
Cienmo Guitars.
Cienmo.
Yes, Cienmo.
The sign's far away.
It is.
Cienmo Guitars, a brand new, well, they're not. They've been around 10 years.
Yep.
But they are basically the Chinese Boucher.
Yeah.
They're master luthier, 12 guys. They're building unbelievable guitars.
And you were playing at yours today.
I was. It's scary.
Yeah.
Yep. The Arc And lastly,
Dakota.
but definitely not least, my friend David Flamang in Green, Iowa, one of the best custom guitar builders in the world. And there you go. There's the partners list.
You'll never believe what it's doing now.
What's
Now
it
it's
doing
doing.
now?
So it's still working, but it's actually streaming to 2 different links. And now I have to monitor 2 different chat windows
Holy shit.
because they're streaming simultaneously
That's excellent.
to 2 different places.
That means we'll have twice as many people
That's
watching
right.
the channel tonight.
Or
Oh.
arseholes. Won't do it.
So I can see everybody's chat in both chats, in both links. So don't
So
panic.
I just want to say a quick word. This is funny, but not funny. It was funny to me, and I hope that they don't take offense at me laughing about this because it is funny, sort of. I got a message from someone
Uh-oh.
who was a huge fan of the show,
Uh-oh.
and apparently he watches this show with his wife and his 2 grandkids.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Not the wisest decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Bad Grandpa.
and he holds me up as an idol to these children, and they feel the same way. They want to be musicians and blah blah blah. Right? And God bless them. I mean that. It's amazing that there are children that still are looking for a musical idol. Right?
What did you do this time?
Well, I dropped an F-bomb at the very start of the show.
Oh, yeah.
And traumatized him and his wife and his grandkids.
Funny, not funny?
So it is funny, but the reason it's funny is because we curse on this show. I'm sorry,
This
we
show
do.
should come with a warning.
It does have some foul language, and
We get over
I love you guys. If you're watching tonight, hopefully you are.
with the sound turned off.
Yeah, and just I look at it like this: these poor kiddos, right? They're out there in the world. They see a million times worse than an old
At school.
fat drunk guy saying the F word.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just want I understand if you're church going people, and you don't want to have profanity in your entertainment and stuff, but I apologize for it, but it ain't gonna stop. That's the way this
It's a bit
show
of a cultural
is.
thing, I think, where we live.
Yeah, where we live, we swear, we drink, we smoke, we do
We're
whatever.
basically just happy leprechauns.
Yeah, so just be aware. Tell the kiddos, I love them, but sometimes Uncle JP lets an F-bomb slide
Yep.
once in a while,
Yep.
and he doesn't do it in anger or
Yep.
to put anybody down.
And weird Uncle Chris is going to say all kinds of
Yeah,
stupid shit.
so just
Weird
just
Uncle
be aware, because obviously this channel is growing in leaps and bounds. There's about 300,000 people looking at this channel every month.
300,000?
Yeah, there's 40,000 subscribers, and that's 20% of the viewership.
I got to
Right?
tell my publicist.
Yeah, you should tell your publicist. Yeah, so we're still getting like a 1.2 million minutes watched a month. So there you go. Like,
Man, people
so
don't have lives.
I apologize, and I love you, and I love your grandkids and your wife. God bless all you. But just be aware, sometimes Uncle JP lets a few things fly,
Lets a little F-bomber go?
and it's just the way it is.
Going to launch a little F-bomber?
Don't mean any offense, and the kids should
Going to clear a
understand
little
that
F-bomb for takeoff?
I just get the F-bomb in there for mostly humorous purposes.
Yeah.
It's all in good fun. I don't mean anything. I don't not putting anybody down or
F-bomb.
trying to hurt anybody's feelings.
No.
So yeah, I just want, because you know what? Of all the years we've been doing this, that's the first time that's happened.
This has been years?
Yeah. It seems
Holy
like a few weeks,
shitballs.
right? Yeah. See what I mean? Shitballs.
Yeah, right.
So, but seriously, that's
Yeah.
the first time in 5 years that anybody's ever said, I had to turn it off because you said F, right? And so not that if you don't want to watch us, that's I appreciate that, and you're welcome to not
Where we
watch
come
us.
from, a little bit of light cursing almost means like we're comfortable with
Yeah,
you and
right.
we're home.
So
We're all in
I
the
just
kitchen.
wanted you to know, if you're watching this, guys,
Yeah.
I love you. I read your message and I took it to heart. And tell your grandkids I love them. And it doesn't matter what I say, it comes out of my mouth. I still love them, and I still want them to play music and play guitar and love music and love guitar.
Kenny Holden wants to know what an F-bomb is.
Well, maybe we'll be able to show him later on the show.
He's from No Funswick. There's no...
No Funswick. They don't do it. They don't allow you to do anything over there.
It's time.
It's time for Capo Corner.
Yeah. It's not a good time, but it's time.
It's a time. But to start off lightly... Capo Corner this week is filled because I've been on the road for so long this year and met so many great builders, and some of them are obviously going to be represented on the channel very shortly. Like this one here, this is the Cienmo from the Chinese shop, just a masterfully built guitar with a cantilevered. No, this is actually the free floating fretboard. See that?
Yeah.
And, like, just crazy stuff they're doing. Also, Steve Kennard, his guitar is going to be featured on here very shortly. Edwinson, my buddy Steve Sheriff in Birmingham, Alabama, is developing. He's a master guitar builder, but he's developing his very first ever dreadnought just for me.
Nice.
And going to send it up. He's starting a whole line of dreadnoughts because of me. So love you.
You're a bit of a dreadnought.
Yeah, I am. He has to build a guitar that's as hearty as I am,
as staunch as you appear.
They were hearty Brits. And
you're the Clydesdale of guitar players.
Yes, absolutely.
You're the Percheron of pickers.
The Percheron.
It's a little horse joke there. Yeah. Whoopsie.
Ooh, too many oats.
We're the funniest people we know.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Cienmo, Edwinson, Kennard. Another one that's coming on board and sending guitars this way as we speak is a company out of Michigan, just outside of Detroit. One of America's greatest custom guitar builders, MJ Franks. This guy is like Henderson and Collings in the early days. Like his guitars, his custom-made guitars that he builds for bluegrassers and these people, they regularly go for $15,000, $18,000, $20,000 US. You know, like
some serious gear.
Serious gear. And he started a new company so that the young kids that were working with him would be able to get into the industry. And he started a company called Cirrus, which I thought you guys would love.
Yeah.
Clouds, right?
Yeah, Cirrus Clouds.
Cirrus, and he's sending one up to us right now. And what he's done is he's put all his knowledge of guitar building into a mass production facility that they've built that has 3 CNC machines, and he's put all his knowledge and all his tricks into building these guitars that are like mega quality for basically budget price. So you can buy one of his OMs, and they're custom made. Like he puts them all together. They're all set and finish. But they're all he cuts every corner, not corner. I shouldn't say that. He cuts all the bling out of them.
Yeah,
they're working man guitars built like brick shit houses, and they're worth $5,000, and he charges $3,000. Like that because he's able to mass produce them with CNC, and he's got these young kids working with him that are on the ball,
teaching them
they're luthier apprentices, and so you got this massively talented luthier in this setup where he's like, okay, we're going to build guitars en masse, and we're going to do it like this, and so it's on its way here. He just sent it a few days ago, so that's exciting, and. Generally speaking, I'm probably even forgetting things right now because so much has happened in the past 3 months that it's been absolutely unbelievable. My trip to Texas to the Bowersox International Guitar Festival, which is actually held in a gentleman's house. It's a mansion, this place, and he puts 12 builders in there, and the place holds about 150 people, and it was just walking around, hanging out with guitar builders and guitar heads for 3 days. and going up. He has a private room upstairs where there's a demo every few hours, and every single builder gets demoed by a player like me. He brings in professional players to do that, and it was a magic thing. I want to do it again next year so bad.
Where was it again in Texas?
In New Braunfels, Texas.
New Braunfels, where they build the smokers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
North of San Antonio by about 15, 20 minutes. And it was magic. And I want to get George Crackett down there next year. And I'd like to get Robin down there. Boucher needs to be at this thing. Because he draws in spectators who are clientele. 90% of the people that walk in there, they have huge amounts of money, and they want to buy guitars. So most of the guitars that are displayed during the festival, they're all sold by the end of the weekend. It's just crazy. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. It's in a gated private community. You have to code to get in. And you drive in there, and this beautiful, humongous home. And he hires a 4-star chef truck to come up there and sit there all afternoon and build us food all day.
Nice.
Like, it's unbelievable. And I just had the most incredible time. The Bowersox International Guitar Festival.
Awesome.
And they call it BIG, B-I-G, right?
Yeah.
And he's been doing it for years. So if you haven't heard of it, you should check it out. It's in September, and if unless something crazy goes wrong, or with my schedule, or I'm booked somewhere else, I'm going to be there next year, and I want to take George Crackett with me, and I want to take Robin. Because they just need to see it. It's the most amazing thing.
Cool.
So, on a sadder note, we have to have a Guitar Heads Eternum tonight because the Wednesday of Celtic Colors, my brother Bob passed away Wednesday morning. He was 73 years old, and he was one of the greatest men I ever knew in my entire life. And he loved music. The guy was, I've actually had a hard time sort of being sad because I realize that everything I'm doing in my life, he would have wanted it. And he did. And he pushed me towards it. And he spent many years with me in the Deep South, left his whole life behind to drive down there and take care of me. When I was 19, 20 years old, and he drove the bus for Marty, he drove the bus for Jerry Sullivan, and everyone loved him. Everybody down there still talks about old Bob. As old Bob. You know, they just remember, and it's been hard because I've had to, call up those people and tell them he's gone. And, but I just want to drink a toast to Brother Bob. He loved this, he loved all of this. And he watched us every week. My brother Joe is there now, left by himself, and I'm sure he's watching.
Yeah, he's here.
Yep, I'm sure he's watching, and there was nobody like Bob. He was the best guy I ever knew in my life.
Bob seemed kind of quiet, but he always had that quip out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
That would kill you.
Oh, yeah.
He made a joke of my name. Every time he'd talk to me, he'd call me some other name that starts with M.
On purpose, right? I told her, said her name, but Bob would always call her any other name.
Yeah.
Anything that started with M.
Yeah, anything that was M.
Bob had Stomp and Tom wit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Smart, sharp folk wit.
Quiet.
Yeah. Never said a word.
When he opened his mouth,
yeah,
shit happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Here's Bob.
Here's the Bob.
Here's the Bob, Brother Bob.
Love you, Joe. Thinking about you.
Love you, Joe. Well, I love you, Bobby. It's a great loss, but Bob had a lot of health problems in the last 10 years of his life, and he went in his sleep, and just it's the best way you could go.
Yes,
right?
sir.
So he deserved that. He didn't suffer. He just went to sleep. So here's the Bobo.
Yeah, buddy.
And I will carry him around with me for the rest of my life. I'll always be thinking about him whenever I see something new or play a new tune or get a new audience. Or he just loved that stuff. He absolutely loved it.
7:35. Do you think we should take the first question?
I think we probably should. So there you go. That was a hell of an intro.
That was a hell of a 35
That was a hell of an
minute.
intro. So let's get on with it.
Mm-hmm.
We got a question from Adam K.
Adam K.
I have an Eastman MD315 mandolin and a Fishman Loudbox mini amp. Can you give me some ballpark settings to start with? High, low, mid, etc.
Okay, so if the 315 has their typical pickup situation, like both of mine do, they're using a K&K, and so generally speaking, the K&K on a mandolin, any pickup on the mandolin, really, but the K&K is the best. You need to crank off a lot of treble, so you want to crank that off probably to like 9 o'clock. And you might have a lot of body thump, that stuff. Crank a little bottom off, and you just use the middle to crank it in where it's smooth and
Get
flat.
your voice. Get the voice.
Smooth and flat, and don't forget to try the phase switch. The phase switch can change everything on that pickup.
Especially if you have a monitor in front of you.
Right. So make sure that you do the EQ, hit the phase switch, and see which phase is best for what you're sending to the amp. And, obviously a little of that nice Fishman reverb always works good. Mm-hmm. And that's the main thing I would tell you. Don't use the feedback throttle. You don't need that. Just use the 3-band, crank the high end down and the bass down possibly, and just get it sounding like it sort of sounds in the room as you remember it when you're sitting around your living room.
Yeah.
You should be able to get 80 to 85% of the acoustic sound out of that setup.
Get a little bit of wood in the mids there.
It's going to be sharp.
Plunk.
It's going to be sharp, right?
Yeah.
But just back off the high end till it's not sharp, and you should have nothing left but wood and thump and nice projection.
Chuck. Nice chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice
Mandolin's got chuck.
It does. Lots of chuck.
We
Next.
got a super chat from Jim Waller.
Hey,
Jim Waller.
Jimmy. Happy Wednesday.
I think that calls for some sipping cream.
I'm having a Mexican here.
That's delightful.
Mm-hmm.
It is good.
Mm-hmm.
He says, so sorry about Bob. Love your stories you've shared of him. What a master mechanic and brother.
Yep, he
Condolences
was.
to Joe and you and your family.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Huh, feels good to hear Jimmy there.
Yeah. I can't wait to see him again.
Commander Waller.
Commander Waller.
He's been with us a long time.
Yep. He'll be with us a while. That guy. I'm going to be seeing him soon.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling. I'm going to be going back down to New England, I'm sure, in the spring. And love seeing Waller and his wife. Just beautiful people. Next.
Question from Willie Duell.
That's new.
Willie's
believe
got to
so.
be new.
Willie Duell is Newell.
D-U-A-L?
No, Deuel.
What is it?
D-E-U.
D-E-U-E-L.
E-L.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's new.
All
Willie
right.
Duell is no fool.
Welcome, Willie.
Are you still living those Epiphone IBG guitars? I'd love to pick up one of those J200s.
Absolutely. I still have my several of them. I have my Excellente, my Frontier. Yeah, I've never turned those loose. They're and I have the Blue Hummingbird.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're killer. They're killer guitars. That they and I it's kind of scary to realize that it was probably 4 years ago now that I first brought those on the air. Mm-hmm. And they're still the same. They haven't moved. They haven't changed. I've toured them. And as a matter of fact, we're going to be doing a new program on the show, on the channel, called Road Dog Reviews, which is going to involve me going back to these guitars that you've seen before, or guitars
After
that
you've traveled with them a bit.
Yep, and after and guitars that I've owned for like 10 years, 12 years. Like I'll go back and review Boo Boo and the Ivory Girl, and all those all these guitars that I've had around that will never leave me.
Mona Lisa.
The Mona Lisa.
Who's
Boy,
had a hard life.
she's been through some shit. Holy Jesus!
Smashed
knocked
up against
side
the
out of her and
table.
everything.
Yeah.
Finest
You
kind.
can't even see it.
No, you can't even tell where it was. I blew the whole goddamn side of it. Yeah. smacked it against the
remember
corner
that
of a
night,
I
yeah.
almost cried.
I
I
was
did
there.
cry.
Yeah.
I was just heartbroken. I called Robin and said, "You're going to kill me." He
I
said,
don't know about heartbroken. You were more mad at yourself than anything
Well,
else.
yeah, but afterward, when I had to call the maestro,
Yeah.
You were scared of Robin.
I was really scared. I was like, "Oh my God, Robin, you're not going to
Robin's
believe
gonna
this."
kill me.
He said, "I'll never forget what he sounded like an old matron on the phone, right? He just was like, 'Don't you worry.' He said, 'Don't you just send her to
This
me.'"
is why you can't have nice things.
That's right, because I'm sick and drunk, walking through a dark room full of tables.
Except you weren't sick.
Oh,
and
yes,
it
I was.
well lit.
That
and
was-
it was the green room.
It was not. It was the flu. I had the damn flu that night. Remember?
There's a
Oh,
Carlton.
I lost my
Whatever.
voice for 7 months. I just got it back in the last month.
What am I smelling?
You need to
Smells
take
like
a long
bullshit.
suck of my next question.
I got a highlighted chat from Jim Waller.
Jim Waller.
Jimmy.
He's been a master guitar head for 40 months.
Oh man, that's wicked.
That boy has
Here's
a
the
lot
Jim
of
Waller.
That boy has a lot of patience.
Here's the Jim Waller.
He says, I know you shy from compliments, but your version of Canadian Railroad Trilogy at the end of A Life in Music is so damn good. Love your Lightfoot. Cut a CD.
It is on a CD,
Yeah.
and we're gonna
It is.
re-release it soon too. The Long River, it's called. We're gonna get it out soon. We're gonna
Long
re-release.
golden stream.
Yeah, we're
Jesus.
gonna re-release Another Morning first.
Yeah.
But I plan on re-releasing all the vocal records because they haven't been out for years, and people are looking for them. And
Hey,
Yeah.
Teach.
Yeah.
I got a question.
yeah,
How did you feel about the Another Morning show?
I loved it.
Did you?
It actually made me love that record again. I've hated that record for years
How could you hate that record?
because I didn't like the way it was produced.
There's we're all here down at my place, Ginger and Sue and I and Arlo,
Yeah,
listening and watching the show, and I'm like, oh, I wish he'd play that live. Oh, shit, that's a great song. I wish he'd play that live.
yeah. I mean, and God bless Paul Mills. I mean, Paul's a good
Yeah.
producer, but I just didn't like the way. I never liked the way it was produced. I thought the album was thin sounding.
No,
And I just didn't like it. And plus it has bad memories for me.
that I
You know,
get.
dealing with that situation with that record and being caught in a horrible legal situation
Yeah,
with people that didn't give a shit about me and cost me $100,000 to get out of it. I just it really bugged me. But when we did it live with this band of incredible musicians who
Yeah.
understood what we were trying to do in the album, it became another thing. Like that. It was so good that I talked to everybody about actually putting it on the road
yeah.
to
You
go
could.
do that show
Yeah.
right across the Maritimes.
You know I don't like blowing sunshine up your hole.
No, you never do.
But that record is it's an East Coast epic
I know.
record.
And
It's epic. The
And
songs
I'm not putting it down. Not putting down the fans of it either.
Yeah.
Because when we were in rehearsal, Kimberly Fraser,
she did a
who in my
masterful job.
my opinion, Kimberly Fraser was the star of the show that night,
She did a masterful job in the fiddle.
and I mean it.
Yeah.
She was unbelievable.
Yeah.
She not only did she play the parts, but she sounded just like me.
Yeah.
She copied the tone and the vibrato and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
She didn't just learn the parts.
Yeah.
She became me as a fiddler for those 90 minutes. Right?
It was
Like,
surgical,
oh
but with
man,
feel.
with feel.
Yeah.
And on the rehearsal, before we started the first rehearsal day, I was just, I mean, we all know Kim Dunn and
Yeah.
Dave, like we're family.
Yeah, yeah.
Brian Talbot played on that on record.
Chef Talbot.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the best, right? Ali Bennett,
Yeah.
who played on some of the cuts of Another Morning.
Right.
These were all close family to me, right? Kimberly was the only one that wasn't that close to
Yes.
us. And after the first few songs, I just looked at her and I said, "Man, you are killing this.
Yeah.
You're doing this better than I ever thought of doing it. Like this just sounds unbelievable."
Mm-hmm.
And we get up for a break, and she looked at me and she said, "I hope I'm going to be okay." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Because this album was pivotal to my life and my career. And I was flabbergasted. I had no idea that anybody of her caliber even friggin' knew, right? So it was a really special night, and it's on video, and it's on YouTube.
Behold the humble bridge pin.
Oh yeah.
Here we have a fine set of Martin ebony bridge pins, including a spare and an end pin that no one ever uses. Spare.
See.
Did you know that bridge pins come in like plastic, tusk, bone, ivory, if you can find them, brass, boxwood, how many is that? Ebony, and each one of those has its own little effect on tone, volume.
Uh-huh.
They come in two common tapers, 3 degrees, 5 degrees. These are Martin, so these are 5 degrees, which is kind of like the modern standard. If you've got 3-degree pins, you can ream them with a pin reamer to 5 degrees, but you can't go back.
Right, you can never go back.
They come in slotted versions and unslotted versions. These are slotted so that the ball goes under and the string can come up the side of it, depending on the specific build of the bridge. There's all kinds of things about bridge pins. And in my humble opinion, they're one of the most overlooked parts of the guitar.
Well, that's great, Chris. But who gives a shit? Next question. What's up there next, Ginger?
We have a super chat from Blair's Feinson.
Blair's Feinson.
Blair's out west.
Is he less boring than Chris?
He says, announced yesterday, Lightfoot's gear, etc. is going up for auction.
What? Who? What?
Where?
Yeah.
When?
Lightfoot's?
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard this. Yes.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm a bit disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck is going on with that?
Good.
Well, I'm assuming some of it will go to a museum type.
Yeah, the Fam Jam. I'm not that impressed with that. I'm not sure why they would do that.
What else would they do with it?
It could be, it could be given to people.
I'm sure some of it will go to a museum or something, but I mean, you can't keep everything.
It could be given to people who were, like he gave guitars to the Good Brothers. It just seems like there's
more practical uses for it.
There's people that were close to him, I think, that should have gotten some things from that collection, and it's not like they need the money.
No,
because SOCAN money and all that stuff, it's
coming.
It's part of his estate.
Yeah,
and he's making $1 million a year off of that. So I don't know.
Anyway.
It just seems a bit disappointing.
But maybe, Blair, your chance to...
I wish I could have one of these guitars.
Maybe it's your chance to own a Gordon Lightfoot guitar strap.
Right. I mean, I know where some of the 12s... Like, he gave the Good Brothers... he gave Brian, I believe, the 12-string.
Mm.
That Gibson that he wrote all the songs on.
Yeah.
Is going to Brian. And I don't know where the original 18's going. Hopefully they'll keep it. Like, I just think that sort of stuff is so sacred that it shouldn't be cheapened by auctioning. You know what I mean?
Well,
maybe that's dumb.
Well, it depends what they're using the money for, too.
We don't know that, like Ginger just said, that they're not going to give the money to charity.
True, yeah.
I'm assuming they'll do something like that.
Yeah. So we shouldn't rush to judge.
I hope Meredith his daughter has some input as to what's being sold and where the money is going and blah blah blah, right? Because it just seems odd.
Interesting to follow, though.
Yeah, it's gonna suck. Actually, it's already going on.
Is it?
They've been bleeding out pieces for a couple of weeks now.
All right.
The the guitar that he played on the Ian and Sylvia special where he sang Naughty Pine, that guitar has been auctioned already.
Okay.
That was a custom made guitar he had built for him. And it's gone. And that's the here's the problem. This is always the problem with these with these Excalibur type instruments from these kind of players.
Yeah.
They get bought by people who will never play them.
Yeah.
They
go
get
in a
put
glass
in a
case.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that sucks. I think that sucks.
Yeah.
I think that, I think Tony Rice's guitar should be in the hands of a player. I think that all of Doc Watson's guitar should be in the hands of players. I think that all of Gordon's material should be in the hands of songwriters and players. Yeah. But instead they're going to be bought by some rich arsehole who will never play them.
We don't know that.
And put them in a case and go, oh, I have Gordon Lightfoot's guitar.
We don't know that.
Well, we don't, but it happens all the time.
Some of it'll make it out.
Because I've seen them.
Yeah.
I've seen guitars like that.
Cool your roll there, Big Jets.
I love my Lightfoot, man.
Okay, it's great. Next.
Gordy's the man.
I think what he's saying is he wants the guitar.
Gordy.
A question from Herb Michael.
Herb
That's
Michael.
new.
No, Herb isn't new.
He's not?
I don't
I've
think
definitely
so.
seen him in the chat. I don't know if I've ever read a question.
I've
Okay,
heard
Herbert.
that name.
Tell us how it is.
Yeah, Herbert, show us your sherbet.
If he says he put a hold on the George Crackett OM, did you like it?
Oh, man, that's a killer guitar. You know why? Because it's 20 years old. And it's got he played it live for 20 years.
Right.
And it's got a shit ton of mojo. That guitar is awesome. You need to buy that. Especially at the price it is. It's ridiculously low. And it has a Fishman Ellipse VT installed in it. That's been in there for years. It works like a charm.
Settled.
Yep. And it's just one of those guitars. When you turn around, you look at it, you see all the holes and the marks, the scuffs. It was used and used well, and it's open as hell. Because he played the shit out of it for 20 years.
That would be a great guitar.
It is, yeah. Buy it. Just get it. You won't be sorry. You will not be sorry about that.
I have never heard Dave Gunning gush about a guitar for like 20 years. And he gushed to me yesterday morning.
Flipped out.
Gushed about his Crackett.
Yeah, it's the best guitar he's ever owned. In my opinion, I've never heard him play anything nicer than that Crackett. Unbelievable.
And with a pickup, an SGI, that doesn't have volume
batteries,
or tone controls
nothing
on board the guitar.
All he's doing is running through that Salmon preamp.
Yeah.
And he has a little Empress box for extra stuff you might want to take out. It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
It's the most incredible thing I've ever heard.
Crackett guitars.
George Crackett is one of the world's greatest guitar builders. So great, in fact, that Robin Boucher had him build a guitar for him. Now that's saying something. Yeah. When Robin Boucher says, I want you to build me a guitar to another builder, man, that's everything.
I
that's
gotta
everything,
get me
right?
inside a Crackett guitar.
Yeah. Well, I got 3 of them here now. We'll look at any one you want.
Okay, so make you a deal. Tomorrow, the question you asked me before the show,
right?
If it's a Crackett guitar, I'll do it.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they are all set up though.
Well, that's your loss.
But we can still do a video on the inside of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just bring a guitar to work that's already done because you have a few.
one or
Just
60.
A couple that you could choose from.
Yeah, but I got to get the new guitars out in the cycle.
You will.
Just not this time.
We you will.
Cut.
Da, 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 da.
That is smooth.
Somebody says, WM says, I wonder what bone or tusk end pins would sound like.
Bone.
End pins, though? Did that make a difference in sound?
Yeah, well, bridge pins. He means bridge pins. He means bridge pins. So if you put a tusk, which is, it's a hard plastic, it's man-made. Micarta. If you put a tusk bridge pin in, you're going to get more treble.
And more volume.
And you're going to get more volume.
Yeah.
If you put bone bridge pins in, it's going to be the same as putting tusk bridge pins in, except on steroids, because it's gonna like drive it that much harder.
Yeah, but bone is not reliable.
No,
It chips, flakes, cracks, breaks.
Yep.
It's inconsistent too.
And
Tusk is the best material you can use in a guitar because
it's absolutely
it's
consistent.
almost as dense as bone, but it's absolutely consistent.
Yeah.
You're right.
And
And
bone,
I use it in everything. I put Tusk pins in everything I've got.
you could put a set of bone bridge pins in, and the 6 bridge pins won't be matched. And
Yeah.
you could
Exactly.
be there. You could literally have to number your bridge pins to find a suitable configuration.
This Cienmo.
Mm-hmm.
Bone. Mammoth
split saddle.
bone. Nut and saddle, and when they use pins,
Yeah.
bone all the way.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of quality that they're
Yeah.
putting together, right?
2-piece saddle, split
Yeah.
saddle for the compensation.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it does make a difference. They feel it does, and it actually does. Bone sounds fantastic
Yeah.
on nut saddles for sure.
Now bone
But
today.
pins, I love them. I
Yeah.
love the sound of them, but I don't relish using them on the road because all of a sudden you're pulling the string out, you're changing your strings, and you
Yeah.
pop that friggin' right off.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, because bone is so porous and
Yeah.
if it's not cut from the right part of the animal,
Grain. If the grain is
grain is wrong, it just becomes super brilliant. It's just waiting to snap, right?
Yeah.
And Tusk is not like that.
Yeah. Micarta or Tusk is it's the
Consistently.
consistent, solid choice, and you can get them anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now another
Any
great bridge pin is an ebony bridge pin.
Oh yeah. Ebony.
That's my favorite bridge pin.
It's
is
so
an
dense,
ebony,
so
yeah.
dense and
Yeah.
beautiful.
They're warm sounding, I find. I like the sound better because it's warmer than Tusk.
Yeah.
And
I
they
love
just
ebony.
yeah. Especially with a little dot of mother of toilet seat in it.
Alvarez Yeri.
Yeah.
They're all ebony pins.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they sound friggin' brilliant. Kerr.
Joke. Question from Don911 Donnie.
Jesus.
Donnie.
That's new for sure.
Yeah. What's the biggest innovation in acoustic guitar lutherie in the last 20 years?
In the last 20 years.
Fan fret?
No.
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 What would you say?
It is one.
Fan fret's a big one.
It is one. But it's been around more than, well, maybe
And
it has.
I'm sorry, but I kind of think fan fret, it's a bit gimmicky.
It is. It doesn't really do that much. They say it increases bottom end and playability and blah blah blah. But whatever.
I wouldn't know about the playability, but
it's not that. It's not that. All that in a bag of chips. The biggest innovation in 20 years.
Could be what Robin does to the tops.
torrefaction, you mean?
Yeah.
That's up there. I'm trying to think. Because there's been so many.
Our friend
so
in Greece
many.
agrees with me.
I know what it is.
What?
I know exactly what it is.
What?
The biggest innovation in guitar in the past 20 years is plucking.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
No.
You sound
Why
like those
not?
aliens
No.
on Sesame Street. Yep.
Why?
Yep, yep,
In the
yep.
past 20 years, I would say that it's urethane adhesives.
That's not as near as important to the
Oh, it
playing
is because
process.
they didn't say what's the most. Read the question.
Base innovation in lutherie.
Right. That's not playing. That's building
Yeah.
the guitar.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
Yeah, that's
You
what he
get
just
it
said.
right.
Lutherie.
Yeah.
So plucking is part of lutherie, right?
What is
Plucking
plucking?
is an after process.
It is, but I mean, even up until 5 years ago, it wasn't even there.
Yeah.
And now it's capable of taking any guitar and creating absolute perfection, intonation,
Yeah.
and action, and
Yep.
all these. And we didn't have that.
Where's the tone come from? The
well,
plucking
the guitar,
or
the guitar,
from the player?
the guitar,
or the player?
no, maybe not.
Well,
It's
you
hard to
always say that the
Well,
tone
yeah,
comes
I
from the
know.
player.
Okay,
What is
fine.
it there? Shithole?
Which is it, shithole? Sorry, kiddos.
Yep. Sorry,
Uh,
Fam Jam.
Okay, well then you got me. Yeah, you got me. then.
There's been lots of innovations in the last 20 years, I guess, is what we've discovered.
I love you. There's lots of them.
What did you say? Elmer's glue. What?
Elmer's glue.
The fuck?
Hawktua.
Yeah. Like what the? Elmer's what?
I meant like urethane and man-made adhesives versus
Right.
fish glue or
Horse
hide glue.
Hide glue. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that didn't happen in the past 20 years. That's what's going on in the 70s. Japan was doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Like me.
Um,
It doesn't matter. There's lots of them. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the
There's
thing.
lots of them. There's a ton of them. CNC machining. That's got to do with lutherie,
Big time.
right? You can. There's a million of them that you
Yeah.
can't choose.
CNC and 3D printing. Like
Oh
they're-
wait! Don't even
like
say
they're-
that because next thing you know,
Are
we're
you
gonna
gonna 3D print a guitar?
we're gonna have an AI 3D printed guitar.
Well, I mean, that's basically what CNC is. They tell it what to do, and it cuts wood in perfection, right?
Yeah.
3D printing doesn't print in wood.
No, but you know what I'm saying, though? Like that whole concept of saying,
yeah,
I want this spruce top to be this shape and
Yeah.
this thickness,
Yeah.
and the thickness is different all the way through the top.
yeah,
They can do that with CNC.
yeah.
So maybe that's it.
But you know what?
Maybe
If you,
that-
say you take
That's
it.
that's how Cirrus is doing so well, because he's able to put his mathematical mechanics into every piece of wood because it's being cut by a machine.
Yes,
right?
but cutting a piece of wood and forming a piece of wood are gonna, like, cutting it on a CNC machine to contour, say, the back of the guitar
Right.
is gonna be different than taking a flat piece of wood and steaming it and contouring
Oh,
it
yeah.
in a mold under pressure.
Yeah.
They're gonna react two different ways.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, because it's two different animals.
It's hard to say what this is.
There's no good answer to this. There's
There's
a
another.
million things.
Okay, there's another one.
What's that?
Is and I'm not sure how old this is. It can't be that old,
Mm-hmm.
but these high tech heated aluminum frames molds that Boucher uses,
Yeah.
where the mold is metal and it's heated and it makes the mold. They don't have to do it by inch by inch by inch
Yeah.
to bend us. They put this thing in the mold,
Yeah.
and the mold is heated to the exact temperature it needs to be for the species of wood.
Yeah, to make it pliable
and
malleable.
it bends the sets and it keeps them. It actually bends them to the way that, in a way that they don't want to ever go back to what they were, and that's why Boucher guitars are so incredibly loud and powerful, because there's no pressure on the sides.
Yeah, to try and go
you know what I
straight.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like a fiddle trying to blow up
Exactly.
all the time. Yeah.
So that's one thing. Like there's so many things. This is an excellent question.
Yeah.
Because you
There's a
can't-
million
you
answers.
can't pick one of them.
Yeah. The Cienmo.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
floating fingerboard.
Yeah.
there.
Floating fingerboards, cantilevered and
Yeah.
floating. This is an actual floating
You
one.
can see right through it.
But they make a cantilevered one. I have it on the other guitar.
Yeah.
Where you can just the neck block comes up and attaches here, but you can put a dollar bill underneath the whole thing
Yeah.
up until the block is hitting. So they make this is the cantilevered. Sorry, this is the floating, and the other one is cantilevered. So what it does is it takes a ton of pressure off the heel block too, the
Yeah.
neck block, right?
Yeah.
So and frees up all
Freeze
this
the
top.
Oh.
The whole top is vibrating.
Yeah.
So this is an old. When you think about this,
And that's not a new trick.
no, it's how mandolins are made.
Right.
Right. But did they ever try it on guitar?
Yeah.
Like they probably
And
have.
could
but
they do that? They could, but is it done with CNC technology
I
when
don't
the,
know.
when the parts are being made,
It
right?
seems to me from looking at what these guys do, and this guitar here is a Loudon tribute.
Mm-hmm.
It's not supposed to be a Loudon, but they've taken a lot of George's
Cues. Yeah.
and built the guitar, all bound in maple, beautiful Indian rosewood, maple, ebony, 5-piece neck like George Loudon.
Beauty satin finish on it.
Yeah, pull through bridge.
Yeah.
Right, and they've really done something here that you can tell they're using a ton of technology.
Yeah.
Plus
Right down to the split saddle.
Yeah. Plus they're using luthier knowledge.
Yeah.
So that in itself is a thing.
Yeah.
Where a luthier who can build a great guitar now has access to all this technology that can translate what they know. The way that Robin is translating his knowledge into putting out 500 guitars a year in a shop with 12 or 14 guys.
Yeah.
Where beforehand they could have only built 200, but they're using technology. Gallagher's the same way. They're using CNC, so.
When you look at that guitar is so full of technology.
Oh, it's crazy.
But it's not gimmicky.
No.
Right?
And you play it, and it sounds like it's handmade, because it is.
Yeah.
It's just that they're using every technology available to make their luthier skills count.
Yeah.
Right? They're not. When they build this guitar, they don't have to worry about ruining a side or a top or a back or a neck, because they're starting out with it cut the way they know that one mathematically perfect, and then they take it out and they hand shape it.
Yeah.
It takes 20% of the time, and they're able to put out the same as Robin. They're able to put out about 500 guitars a year, and multiple different kinds of models. This guitar here is plain Jane. They've got now. Here's another thing. If you'll notice, you and I both know over all these years when you get guitars and they're blinged out like hell.
Yeah.
That abalone 20 years ago used to cost a fortune.
Yeah.
If you did a 45 presentation style guitar, you're looking at $5,000 worth of stone.
Because of the way it had to be put in.
Right.
And today,
it's not
easy to put in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently...
CNC router.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And apparently, it's plentiful as hell.
Yeah.
Beforehand, they would. If you said to Martin, I want a D28, but I want abalone purfling on the back sides and front.
Yeah.
Extra $5,000.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't take anything.
No, because it can be rattled off by machinery.
Yeah.
So fast.
Yep. Yeah. And the material, they I think they're starting to source this stuff in a different way. They must be.
There's new tools to cut it.
Yeah.
Which makes the
supply less waste.
Yeah, the supply way more efficient.
Yeah.
Right, because you're not wasting half of by hand tooling it.
Right.
Right.
The computer can look at a piece and figure out how to use
the
every bit of it.
Best use. You can slice it thinner.
Yep.
There's a lot less production waste.
Yeah.
In doing it, right? And there's a lot less time, because you can have your pattern of the piece. Not only is the piece being cut by a numerically controlled machine, right?
Right.
CNC, computer numeric control. The slot that it's going to sit in is cut by a CNC. Some glue and in it goes.
Yep. It's amazing.
It doesn't have to be done by hand.
This was an incredible.
Is Ginger still here? Is she still breathing?
She's watching.
Okay.
This was an incredible question. Because that's a rabbit hole that is so deep.
You know what? I'm going to vote this question.
This might be the best question of the year.
This year.
Yep. I think it was.
Ginger, who asked this question again?
Don 911.
Well, Don 911.
Holy shitballs.
I think you're going on the list just for that. Don 911.
That has never happened before.
You are contestant 39, Don, because that was the best damn question I've heard in a while.
That is an incredible question.
That was killer, because it's
that's a thinker.
It's truly unanswerable, because
you could
there
do
are
two
so
shows
many,
on it.
When we first started talking, I thought there's one thing.
Yeah.
No. There's not one thing. There's not one thing.
No.
And that's the beautiful part about it. And that's why there's so many great guitars right now.
We're going to be laying in bed tonight going,
yeah.
I'll text JP.
There's
another thing. Yeah.
That's why this whole channel is happening, because of what you asked is the answer to why we're doing this, because there are so many companies right now that are putting out like top pinnacle guitars, and you're not paying $1 million.
And they're not all CNC.
No.
And some of them use it some of the time.
Right.
Like CNC is so common now.
Yep.
We have a CNC machine down the street. We
That's
have a
right.
laser cutter engraver.
That's right.
This drink coaster, the Slate drink coaster, was done on a CNC
at his shop
that we built.
That you built, yeah.
Right. Like it's open to idiots.
Yeah.
It's open to idiots.
It's incredible what can be done.
So you don't have to be like a huge guitar manufacturer.
No.
To avail yourself of the technology.
That's
it's
right.
so accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on a last note, this is what makes guys like David Fleming
Yeah.
and George Crackett and people like that, and Steve Kennard and Steve Sheriff. This is what makes them so special, because they don't use it. They're still building guitars completely by hand.
Yeah, the old-fashioned way.
Right? And so it creates all these beautiful echelons of guitars that you can go through. Like, you've got the Bouchers, you've got the Martins, the Gibsons, the Breedloves, the Bedells. You have all these things, but down through that pyramid, you've got every level of CNC use, partial CNC use, and like
no
single
CNC
bench
use.
hand tools only.
Yeah.
And every one of them is a guitar you want to go home with,
Yeah.
right? That's what's so scary about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, wicked question, Don 911.
Holy shitballs.
You're number 39. That was the best fucking question I've had this year.
Contest entry out of
Sorry,
the
kiddos.
question.
Okay, next.
Oh, you said shitballs.
I said all kinds of things.
Yeah, okay.
We have
Sorry.
a
We
super
love
chat from Mr. Stephen Baker.
Oh, hello, Sudsy. He found us. It took a while, but he texted me.
He was
and
just
said
too busy in the tub playing with his.
No, he's not in the tub.
Aw.
I don't think. I think he's not in
What?
the tub.
Oh, what?
He was somewhere else.
Scrubbing the tub?
No.
Okay.
He says, love it. Many weeks without, and usually the worst dressed guy, Chris, is the one not wearing pajamas.
That's right. Hey, look, I've been on the
kind of
road.
like
I've been on the road for 100 years.
It's an underhanded
I'm
compliment,
tired.
I think, Chris.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying my time at home. I miss my wife and I miss my brother. And I was just like, I'm wearing pajamas tonight. I'm
Next
comfortable.
week, you're home.
Yes,
I'm not.
but
I'm going back to the pressure cooker.
Yeah,
And Dave Gunning is going to be
that's
here.
right.
with
And
I
we're,
you.
should
and
be
we're
here.
going to be reviewing the Crackett.
Yeah.
So
You're going to have a cracket party.
the video we shot at Parkway.
Yeah.
Before we left.
Yeah.
This morning, just this morning, in what was it, 14 hours, 16 hours, Ginger? 3,200 people on it already.
Oh, wow.
And now we got a guy here talking about putting a hold on the, like all three of
I
those
saw it
guitars
on
are
my
going
feed.
to
I
be.
haven't watched it yet. But I saw
Those
it on my
three
feed.
guitars are going to be so gone so fast, and it should be, because friggin' George, holy man, can that guy's a fucking monster guitar builder, monster guitar builder.
Whoopsie. F-bomb.
Can't help it.
Next
Love
Wednesday
George.
night, Dave Gunning.
He never swears.
No. Huh, Dandy. Yep. Never fucking swear at all.
Oh,
Does this make my arm look fat?
Does this make my arm look fat? Does that F-bomb make my arm look fat?
Does this F-bomb make my arm look fat? Better to be stuck in the arm with a needle.
No.
Hey, it's
Connect.
going to be a good show because
I
you
know.
guys are going to play music.
Oh,
and
yes,
shit.
we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Ginger going to be home?
It should be.
Oh, good,
Yeah,
good.
buddy.
It could be some
Yay.
extenuating
Yeah.
circumstances, but I
I'll
should
be
home.
watching somewhere. From
Yeah,
somewhere.
you will. Call us. Call
I'll
us.
be watching from somewhere.
Call in. Call
no,
in.
I won't be. I'll be busy. Sorry.
He's going to be in training.
Okay, how many? You got some super chats left?
We got a highlighted chat from Mark Smith.
Mark Smith, that boy, buddy.
He's been a master guitar head for 41 months.
That boy, Mark Smith. Love you, brother.
What do you... Okay, what?
Where is Mark Smith?
Where?
Yeah,
He's in... Is he the Halifax one?
I think he is.
Yeah.
He's in Halifax.
Yeah, he won one of the prizes last year.
Yeah.
Mark Smith, you need to come out on a night and be the
Sit-
live audience.
That's right.
Or,
Sit at
or
the
you
t-
can sit here and drink out of an award.
That's right.
Drink out of a
Yeah,
water
yeah.
beginning.
You drink out of one of my music
Yeah, we
disclosure awards.
can pull up a special award and you can drink out of it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
What's
an
he saying?
invitation, brother.
He says, have you played a 12-fret slotted headstock Crackett yet? Super curious.
Ooh.
No.
12 string,
12 fret.
12-fret slotted headstock.
slotted head cracket.
But my Airy JP Cormier signature
Yeah.
model is a 12 fret slotted headstock.
Yeah.
Which is one of the greatest guitars I have ever seen.
Okay, so what is it about a slotted head that, like, the sound out of a slotted head is just something
Hugely different.
hugely different, but
It-
you can't put your fingers on it.
Well, there's two things. There's less wood in the neck, which causes more vibration to shoot down.
Well,
into
there's
the
less
body.
wood in the headstock.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the headstock is part of the neck.
Yeah.
Right? So, and the other thing is, when you have a... Okay, so imagine this. You've got your headstock like so on a regular guitar, and you get a spindle that comes up about
Yeah.
half an inch, right? So if the strings are coming over the nut
Oh,
this
well,
way...
offset the brake angle.
Yeah.
Lower brake
A
angle.
lower brake angle.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
it changes everything about the way... And then,
Yeah.
if you do a 12-fret neck, on a 25-inch scale or whatever it
Yeah.
might be, the bridge is further back.
Yeah.
So the
So
whole
it's warmer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The whole
Yeah, because
top
I'm
is
thinking,
flying.
like a slotted head always sounds
Oh,
smoother.
so much better.
Yeah.
I love them. I
Like
freaking love
it's smooth and warm.
them. Yep. And
It's like
that's
hot
why.
chocolate. It's like a cup of
Poured
hot
over a
chocolate
big
with
bowl
whipping
of-
cream on it,
Pour-
plus some cinnamon in
Yeah,
it.
poured over a big bowl of fluffy white marshmallows. They just melt down. And just
Next.
Like, Next.
Um,
You want to just stick
a
your...
question-
Never mind.
Go
ahead.
Spoon
it-
and stir
It is stir it.
Right.
Hey,
Let me stir your coffee. Okay, go ahead.
we'll never do that again.
Never again. Other guy. Don't make me laugh.
Yeah.
Go next.
Question from Terry Poirier.
Oh, Terry Poirier.
Yes.
The greatest upright bass player in the friggin' world. He is. Terry Poirier is God. Terry Poirier's son.
Yeah.
He's like the best bass player on the friggin' planet. Love you, Terry. What's going on?
Have you ever played an Olsen guitar? What James Taylor plays?
I have never played an old... Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I'm lying. Bowersox. He had one. And it was like a $30,000 guitar. And he had it under glass. He had
So
a
you
lot of guitars, but
Yeah.
he had that. So, yes, I have. And I met him.
Olsen?
I met him at the Fretboard Summit in Chicago. And he was the most beautiful, humble, kind-hearted
How old
guy.
is he?
He's got to be in his 70s.
Yeah.
And when he walked in to meet Robin.
Ooh, nice.
And we were with Hosen, too. We were standing at Hosen's table. And
In Chicago.
in Chicago. And
Yeah, I get to some of that in there right now.
and so he walked in, met Robin. Robin was just flabbergasted. And Hosen was flabbergasted. And I just walked over to him, went like this.
Yeah, yeah.
And he shook my hand. He said, I love your playing. He said, but you shouldn't do that. I said, what do you mean? He said, James Taylor made me everything I am.
Oh, yeah.
And I got lucky.
Mm.
And I said, man, you didn't get lucky. You are one of the best guitar builders in the history of guitar.
So what makes an Olsen special?
The same thing that makes an Irvin Samoji special, and Hosen
And a Robin.
and Robin.
Yeah.
It's if those guys were building guitars, only 10 guitars a year, like Flameng or Crackett
Yeah.
or like all these different companies, like Collings was back in the 80s. That's what makes it special. He only builds a couple, 2 or 3 guitars a year, right? So he puts everything he has into that guitar, and that's why
Yeah.
James Taylor played it and went, well, this is
This is it.
unbelievable. And he's played nothing but Olsen his whole career. And that's what made him. Like he knows it, and he told me how much he loved James Taylor and appreciated Taylor for what he did.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yeah, but you're still like a god, man. Everybody looks up to you. He said, yeah, but he said, I build a couple guitars a year, and he was so humble and I gave him a big hug, and I said, one day I will be able to I'll have the 30,000 or whatever it takes, and I'll buy an Olsen one day.
Think about Canadian makers for a second.
Yeah,
Like
I can think of a bunch of them.
Yeah,
Grit Alaskan, Linda Manzer,
right.
John Larrivee. Like, these are guys that are capable of building Olsen.
David Iannone.
Exactly.
Morgan.
All 4 of those
Right.
people are
Okay.
capable of... Roger's favorite guy, he has them in his shop. He's a French builder. I'm not going to be able to call his name. It begins with a P.
Okay, so when you think about Canadian builders,
Right.
there's all our faves, there's all the contemporaries, right?
Yeah.
And then there's these ones that aren't built anymore.
Prue as well.
Prue would
From
be one.
Timmins, yeah.
Do you know what one of my favorite? And now you run across them at a festival somewhere.
Right.
Somebody has one of these guitars.
Right.
Do you know what one of my favorites is? Forever. Hensel.
Hansel and Gretel.
I know,
Hensel.
I know.
You
the
know that.
name.
Ian Sherwood has a Hensel guitar. And if anybody out there knows Hensel as a guitar
I know the name, but
manufacturer,
I don't know anything about him.
they're one of the prettiest sounding guitars. They're not the best built.
Yeah.
They're low tech.
Pellerin. That's the Quebec guy. Pellerin.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some like old lesser known guitars
Yeah.
here in Canada, and I'm sure down everywhere has them. But like we talk about the like there's all these current builders, but there's some old gems out there.
I'm gonna mention a couple that you probably don't. Well, actually, you might know them because you've worked on everything, right? Whitaker.
Yeah, Whitakers.
And
yeah.
Kneebone. Remember those?
Ooh,
At a PEI?
I don't remember Kneebone.
Kneebone was a guy in Prince Edward Island built guitars for bluegrassers. But he was right. He was in the same time frame as Whitaker.
Okay.
And so if you run into some of the old time bluegrass guys,
Yeah.
occasionally you'll see a guy that has a Kneebone, and it was a wicked guitar.
Like what style? What wood?
Dreadnought, like almost Gallagher-esque.
Yeah.
Like unbelievably good guitars. And he only built. He's probably dead, and so is Whitaker.
Yeah.
Those guys only built about 50 guitars each, maybe.
Yeah.
And they're still being played.
Yeah.
Right? Crosby's
another guy. One.
He's down the South Shore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like south end of the valley, South Shore.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I had bad luck with his guitars.
Because they weren't built for the road. That's why.
Right. But they were brilliant guitars.
Yeah, they sound amazing.
He had a fingerboard tail hump problem, and he probably fixed it years after I was. But all because of humidity and But his guitars were brilliant.
Yeah.
Brian Doyle played one for 20 years.
Yeah.
Until he got a hose end. Right. He's playing a hose end now. But there you go. Like, there's just so many.
Well, and there's
so many.
There's so many low tech builders out there, like old builders that aren't with us anymore.
Yep.
But man, there's got to be some gems
Yeah.
out there that people know about. Like I'd like to hear about stories of those old ones, right?
Here's another one. Tom Dorwood
Yeah.
owned the Halifax Folklore Center.
Yeah.
One of the best guitar builders in Canada. He worked with Grit Laskin and John Larrivale. He
Could work on anything.
Yeah, but he built guitars.
Tom scooped out a...
Jim Hanlon
Yeah.
had a dreadnought of his he called Thud
Mm-hmm.
that he played for 30 years.
Yeah.
And that guitar is still around. Jim's son has it now and still playing.
That old 1890s banjo I used to have,
Yeah, yeah.
Tom was the one who scooped that out for me, like for clawhammer playing.
Yep.
Right?
So, I mean...
And identified this is when it was made. This is likely where it was made.
Yep.
Right? Because there were no markings on it.
You brought up a great point. It's
Yeah.
true. There are many builders that we overlook. Sachin from Regina.
Yeah.
Wicked mandolin builder, guitar builder, everything.
Yeah.
He retired about 3 or 4 years ago. I was at his shop the day he was closing it.
Yeah.
And I bought an Eastman mandolin from him and a mug and a hat and a
Yeah,
hoodie.
because it's done.
Because he was a beautiful man.
Yeah.
He did setups for me. He set up my gut string that I use that I have right here, my Cordoba. I said I want this to sound like Jerry Reed. He said good, and he fixed the saddle. He did everything perfect, and it's still there. Like I could never afford one of his instruments.
Think of the technology that we've lost.
Yeah, in here.
Yeah.
That technology, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant. You're on fucking fire tonight. On fire. Okay, next.
Question from Curtis
He's
Chavez.
mostly on fire all the time, but I put him out with my sloppy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to stop that right now. She'll get up and come over and slap.
Yeah, she's going to hit me too. I'm drinking the last of the
I got some dead batteries here I can launch.
butter pecan.
Projectiles.
Jerk dials.
Projectiles.
Oh, yes. Yeah, of course.
Well, there goes that one.
Yeah, connects.
Um,
Okay, no, you were mid.
Curtis
That shit's
Curtis
amazing.
Chavez. Hey, focus there, buddy.
I'm here. I'm focused. You do it.
Listen to Mom.
Give her.
I found an OM size red label for $350. How can I tell if it's worth it if we're only eating an expensive fix? It has a really high action, but still plays and sounds great.
Say it again. Do it again. I missed the first part.
She said she has
on bottles.
OM red size
label.
red label.
Oh.
$350.
So that would be an FS 175 or 180.
Yeah. It's going to be worth it.
Buy it.
Yeah.
Buy it and take it immediately to a tech.
Yeah.
And have it set up to play.
Yeah.
What do they normally go for?
Well, that's questionable.
Conditional, right?
Yeah.
On condition.
If it's in good shape,
Yeah.
a collector could pay $1,000 for it. So
Say what the problem is again?
High action.
a high action. So that means it needs a belly lift.
Yeah, I was just going to say
or
how badly bellied it is
Yeah.
going to be the.
Yeah.
But it's not bellied; it's sunk,
Yeah,
and which happened to
which
them.
is bellied. Just in the
Yeah,
That's
opposite
what bellied
it's
is,
direct-
isn't it?
Yeah.
But you
Regular.
can, but
Over
you
there.
can put a bridge doctor on those
Yeah.
and bring them back.
Yeah.
So if you, what do you want? 250,
$350.
350.
Do it.
Buy it.
Yeah.
Because whatever the repair is,
Yeah.
will probably cost you another $300.
Yeah, easy $300 to $500, but
And then
it's
you're
still
you're
into
going to have a cannon.
killer guitar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
would
it
buy
won't
it.
move after it's
No,
fixed.
once it's fixed, those guitars are so well
Yeah.
built that if you put today's technology on repairing humidification problems
Yeah.
or splitting or neck block problems, they're just designed to be repaired
That
and stay together.
that Yamaha
right?
is so well built that once it's brought into trim and what's wrong with it is fixed,
Yeah.
it'll never move again.
Nope.
And you'll be buried with it. You'll be holding
Yep.
it in your coffin.
And I can tell you this, and I'll say this to you, and I've said it to you before, and I'll stand on it right to the gates of hell. I don't care where they put me.
Gates of hell.
There has never, ever been a better built guitar, ever, than what Yamaha has built over the past 80 years. They are flawless.
Yeah.
There's just never been anything built that well.
Can
And can last
overall
for
consistency.
decades, right? Last for decades and still be played. And the stuff they're putting out now out of Hamamatsu and the artists in China shop, right? It's unbelievable what
Yeah.
they're doing. The FG9, the FS9, there's there's 7s coming soon. Like, it's just, Yamaha has consistently for 80 years built guitars that have stood the test of time, and I've had them.
Yeah.
I've had guitars in here that were 50 years old, and they were just as sound as they were the day they came off the line.
It's like you're not buying an heirloom instrument.
No.
Or a handmade
You're
instrument
building a
unless
tool.
it's coming.
You're buying a tool.
You're buying a tool, but like there's such quality in that
Oh yeah.
that given the attention that it should have had
Yep.
to bring it back into trim, you're essentially turning it into an heirloom instrument.
Exactly.
Because you're going to be able to pass it down
Yep.
to your kids.
It's a collector's item at that point.
It is, yeah.
Anybody that has, somebody just tried to sell me yesterday, the very first FG 180 that was pre-Red Label.
Right.
It was the one that came out in Japan that never came to the West, but it came out in 1965. So I'm thinking that somebody from either the Korean War or the start of the Vietnam War
Brought it back.
from Japan in 1965, and this thing was pristine.
Where is it?
It's down in Georgia, and the guy wanted $900 US, and I said, it's absolutely worth that because it predates the Red Labels. It's before the guitars that came here.
Yeah.
And when he showed me the pictures of it, and he played it for me, he sent a video. Terrifying.
Original hardware?
Terrifying. Everything original. The only ding it had was on the back. There was finish wear, where somebody had played it and had
belt buckle or
scraped the
whatever,
end of it.
yeah.
They had their belt buckle over here,
Yeah.
but they were grinding it anyway. Oh my God.
Who cares?
That guitar was fucking brilliant. It was the most... I couldn't
Imagine how
believe it.
stable and open
Yeah,
that guitar would be.
1965,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's 60 years old,
Yeah.
and it's still... I mean, you can't. If you found a 65 D18 Martin,
Yeah.
chances are it ain't gonna be as playable as that one.
True.
Right? You're gonna have to do
Well,
a neck
and
reset.
is never going to be as stable.
No.
Once you get it,
No.
in trim and set up.
They had a different set of math.
Yeah.
Yamaha.
Yeah.
They just did, and
Yeah.
it's irrefutable.
Buy that thing.
Buy it.
Run it through the
Buy it,
shower.
buy it,
put
buy
a
it.
garter belt on it,
Yep.
and strap in for
Buy
the
it.
night of your
Put
life.
some mustard on that.
Jesus
Eat like a
Christ.
hot dog.
Oh no. Oh dear.
Connect. Sorry, kiddos.
Strap on for the night of your life.
We have a super chat from Jim Waller.
Hey, Jimmy.
Love you, Jimbo.
Oh dear. I need to put a pickup on my FYM 60 HD.
Oh, nice.
Love K&K, but would the Hi-Fi be a better choice?
I would definitely go with the K&K
Yeah.
or the SGI
Yeah.
because the Hi-Fi is a good pickup, but I think it's incomplete. They're coming out with a new system that has an extra piece of equipment they're calling a silo mic. So basically, it's the old
Yeah.
I-beam with whatever.
I-beam. Yeah.
So it's two sensors, and this literally, it looks like a salt shaker.
Here's-
With a pointy top, and I think that once they come out with that system will be complete. I think
Yeah.
the Hi-Fi system, it's just really weird because
It's a great system.
it's a great
incomplete.
system. It is.
Yeah. It
But-
needs a little tweak.
With that all being said, Alvarez Yeri
Yeah. Is
has
using
altered.
hi-fis.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
altered it.
They altered the EQ to suit their
altered the
instruments.
EQ and
Yeah.
they altered the cable length.
Yeah.
They've cut it so that it's perfect for the guitar. There's
Yeah.
nothing hanging out.
No.
And they altered the installation of it so that it really does work
Yeah.
fantastic in Alvarez and Yeri guitars.
He says he means the Hi-Fi Duet.
Oh. Don't know.
Well, that must be the one.
Is that
That's the
something
one that
different?
has,
Hi-Fi Duet.
that has the silo mic with it.
Okay. The brand new one.
Yep.
Haven't heard it yet.
I haven't heard it yet either.
Yeah.
But knowing what
Yeah.
Bags has done in the past,
Yeah.
it's a go.
So
It's
Jim,
a go.
I would still go if you want to go towards the voice of the guitar, do the K&K. If you are a guy that likes a little extra warmth and
Weight,
body,
meat,
do
SGI.
the do the SGI.
And here's the thing, and as much as now, you guys know I love LR Bags. They help us with this. They partner with us. I can call Bags anytime and say I need this, this, and this, and they send it. They
Yeah.
don't even ask questions. But
I guess it's already out. It says it's $450.
Yeah.
But here's the bottom line. I fucking hate batteries. I hate batteries.
Yeah, you don't like anything on board the guitar.
No.
He also doesn't
because
like having to remember to
it's
change
It's a
the batteries.
liability.
Yeah.
I
On stage
I
it
do
is.
not want to be playing a show and all of a sudden my guitar sounds like. And that's,
Well,
what,
and it's
that's what it sounds like when the battery goes.
It's undoing the strings to put the new battery in before
and
a show.
it's such a pain in the ass. I just love K&K and SGI because there's no battery.
It is simplistic.
And it's super high output.
Yeah.
We've measured
It's as hot or better as like the Bags
as any
pickup is gonna
9-volt
be.
system.
Yeah.
We measured it
As
here
a preamp
with a
system,
gauge
yeah.
one. Yeah. So if you want the most simplistic, natural tone, K&K and SGI are your best bet. K&K is like in your face, all the frequencies. SGI is like this beautiful, softer, fatter, with all the frequencies, but it's just EQ'd better.
If you want the full voice, it's K&K. If you want a little softer, cuddlier sound, then it's going to be the SGI.
So either one of those things I would go for, and if you do want to try the new bag system, I say go for it.
Yeah.
If you don't mind the battery, there's no way that system can suck. I just can't see it.
No.
Because what Bags has done in the past with the other duet systems, which were under saddle,
UST
and an
plus
I
the
beam
beam.
and the Anthem mic afterwards later on, right?
Done hundreds of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the new ideal. This is the two sensors with this silo mic, which I've looked at. It looks really cool, and the the frequency response of the microphone is carved especially for acoustic guitar, as was the Anthem. But
Yeah.
I think they got it even better this time. I would think the amount of work that they've been doing, they've been working so hard. So you just can't take it away from LR Bags.
Yeah.
So if you want to try any one of those three is going to be a winner, I believe. And if you
want no
don't-
maintenance,
no maintenance, no battery, no
Yeah.
nothing, just install it, put it in, play, go.
yeah,
Then don't do the LR Bags, do the other two. But if you want the finesse, the Bags
Yeah.
is going to have.
it'll
a lot
give
of
you more
finesse.
options for your on the fly. It'll give you volume. It'll give you tone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
We have a super
Great
chat
questions tonight. Holy shit.
from Mr. Stephen Baker.
Stephen Becker?
It is, he wrote it when you were talking about slotted headstocks.
Yes.
I almost didn't read it, but I will. He says, less wood in the neck. It's a good metric for my wife is happiest and I am least happy.
Wow. It was almost going to be a serious question, wasn't it?
Sorry, kiddos.
Yeah.
Connect.
They don't know. They
Who's
don't
up?
know.
Let's get through the
So.
super chats. See how we're doing.
That's the end of the super chats.
All right. So the question is tonight, and we're going to take one person because Don 911 got a slot because his question
Yeah.
was friggin' brilliant. The question is tonight, what is the city in Texas where Stephen Kennard builds his amazing guitars?
Oh, yeah.
I said it. You might have to look it up. Stephen Kennard Guitars in Texas. What is the name of the city where he builds his awesome, awesome guitars?
It rhymes with no Funswick.
That's right. Sort of. Rhymes with cat.
Rhymes with them ribs smell awfully good there, boy.
And that's enough of that.
Cowboy hats on straight, boy.
Looking mighty good in them tight jeans, boy.
Now.
You gotta wear those pant legs outside your boots, son.
You got the hooks of the loop gloves on.
And changing. How about you play some of that,
Play that.
that guitar with the
Yeah.
old floating doodad?
Yeah. The old floating
floating
doodad. No, she's even doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a beautiful instrument.
Cien Mo. You can hear
Cedar
the
top, cedar top,
Yeah.
rosewood.
My favorite top, cedar top. grain of that up to the camera. How tight the grain of that cedar top
That's a
is.
cedar top. That thing is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah. And that satin finish on it is beautiful.
And the back, it's a beautiful guitar.
Yeah.
It's one of those instruments that's just like, don't sound like anything else.
No. You can hear the whole top of that guitar going.
It's a very nice, it's a very pronounced mid.
Yeah.
Which
You can
makes
hear
it-
the liveness on the top of
Which makes it really good for picking.
it. Yeah. Did Aereo coat it?
No, they're just
They're the stock?
bench strings.
Oh, wow. Sound like that.
They are
with bench
serious.
strings.
Like they got
Whoa.
ebony buttons. Those are Goto, high-end Goto.
Machines, yeah.
Yep. It's just a beautiful guitar.
Yeah.
And they're only charging, like, I think it's like $2,800.
It's unreal.
For the
Look at the
money-
laminations in the neck.
I know. It's unbelievable.
Look at the back of the neck.
5-piece neck, ebony mahogany.
What's it called again?
This is the
It's a
Cienmo.
Cienmo. I love the
And they
matte
call
black
this
on the back.
Whoops, it's in Chinese.
Okay.
But it is their Loudon tribute guitar, right? And it's just
I love the
crazy.
matte black on the
I know.
back of the
Look at that.
headstock.
That one.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And there's your headstock with the Cienmo logo.
It's an awesome sounding
It
guitar.
is amazing.
With bench strings on it.
Yeah.
It's I didn't
It doesn't even have an end pin.
No.
It's ready to go for whatever pickup you want to put in. When we drill this, it'll be
Which one was it you wanted me to do tomorrow that I said no to?
I might want you to do this one.
I will make the time to do that one
All
time.
right? Because I think that guitar there is.
Man, I love a cedar top, and that thing is live.
I know. It's lively. And the more you play it, the warmer it gets.
So, if you want a cedar top,
Yeah.
you've got to don't choose a cedar top guitar that has a wide grain.
No.
Cedar
Tight,
is
tight, tight.
so delicate,
Yep.
and it's prone to cracking.
Yep.
And so, if you're going to buy a cedar top, you want one with a real super tight, as tight a grain as you can find.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, this guitar, not a Loudon, obviously.
No.
But it's in that realm, and you're paying a third of what you pay
Yeah.
for a Loudon.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a Loudon.
You
but
can
it's-
hear how live
But you
that
can
top
hear,
is.
but you can when you play it. It's
Yeah.
just like, it's just a beautiful foreign sound.
Yeah.
It's not like anything that you hear in the West.
Yeah.
You hear it in Europe, but not in the West.
Yeah.
And I love it. It plays like a dream. The boys know. Lee, the guy that I've been talking to over there, is a tremendously nice guy. He speaks fantastic English.
Jack's gone out to pee.
Oh yeah, and he's written to me extensively about how important all this is to them. That they're not trying to be anybody. They just want to build great guitars,
Yeah.
and they want to get into this market because us as guitar players will appreciate what they do more than anybody over there will.
Yeah.
This is the bottom of the line. You should see the inlay work they do,
Yeah.
and the price
When
doesn't
they
go-
dress it up.
Yeah, and the price don't go up that far. I haven't seen one of the guitars over 4,000.
Dang old price don't go up.
Dang old price don't go down. Oh yeah, you can get like Trees of
Yeehaw,
Light, Trees of
America.
Life 45 presentation. It's like $3,800.
Dang America, yeehaw.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're trying, and that's why they're doing it. They're like, we're keeping the price low because we want people to notice us.
Yeah.
And then when we get a following,
It's not gimmicky, but it's like,
exactly.
it's super cool.
Anyhow, Cienmo, we love you.
Okay.
Who had the answer to
eight.
where is Stephen Kennard?
I'm not even sure what the answer is, so I'm just going to read them.
Yeah.
Austin?
Nope.
Houston?
Nope.
Bauer Sox?
No.
Nacogdoches?
There
No.
you go. Who did
Oh.
that?
Nacogdoches. Schmitty.
What?
What?
SCHMIDTY.
Really?
Yeah.
Schmitty?
Schmitty.
Okay, well he's in. You're number 40, Schmitty.
Nacogdoches. I thought we were talking
Yes.
about New Brunsfeld's.
Yeah, well that's where I met him.
That's where you met him.
Yeah,
See, I don't think you gave the answer to this question.
Well, people got it.
Oh yeah, I said Stephen
Okay.
Kennard at the start of the show.
I must have been breathing. when you
Nacogdoches,
said it.
Texas. Must have been breathing. He must have been crapping.
Must have been breathing when you mentioned it.
All right, boys and girls.
Yep. 7:45.
We love you, and it's been a great night.
Yeah. Good questions. Super questions.
Wicked good questions.
Wicked super good questions. Yeah, you're smooth on that, aren't you?
Chris, he'll be gone next week, but Dave will take your place.
Dave will be here. It's
And,
going to be a good show.
Thank you for doing this. So good to be back with you after all this time.
Oh, who is this playing?
It's me, you dick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, could you not have some class and not play you?
It's the only thing that doesn't get copyright dinged. Don't do that.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't copyright
This
yourself.
song's not even registered.
Good.
So
Good.
Hey,
this song
Brother
was
Bob.
Yeah, Brother Bob. I love you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks to all our partners. Thanks to We Don't Give a Shit, Chris.
Mm-hmm. Ginger.
Ginger's always in the
Ginger
house.
biscuit.
Even if she's not in the house, she's in the house. Because we love her so
Beans.
much. And Beans in the house.
Put your Snoopy Christmas
Beans.
jacket on, Beaners.
Beans got her Christmas sweater on.
Yeah, Jack's out having a
Jack's
pee.
always having a big pee.
Hey,
We
Beaners.
love you. And we'll see you next week.
Have a safe
on
week.
Strang Theory.
Mm-hmm.